adding their knowledge, their expertise, and it just makes it a pleasure. It's awesome.
That's really cool. Yeah, I always forget that point about how much fun it is actually that, kind of this gathering of developers actually come together and all contribute to the platform in a different way. Thompson, you've been quiet over there with your spiky hair and looking very cash today.
Thank you. I'm on my comp time.
Thank you for bringing that up. And
I'm enjoying that. We worked our tails off, but it was fun.
That's great. So maybe you want to talk a little bit about working with Gobo, Rise Against the Empire playset, what that was like, because obviously that's a huge responsibility to be able to retell those iconic moments from episodes 4, 5, and 6.
Right.
So you want to talk a little bit about the development with Gobo, as well as working with the team at Lucasfilm to make sure that we were true to that, but then at the same time kind of had our own unique Infinity spin?
Yeah, so Studio Gobo, they're the first external developer we brought in. They're about 35 or 40 people. They used to be BlackRock Games.
Which was a Disney-owned studio.
Was a Disney-owned studio at the time. So there was already a really good sort of friendship and partnership there. So it was actually pretty easy to bring them on. We knew the guys. And they're actually a really good fit, just like these guys are now. And so this is our third play set. So we did Pirates of the Caribbean, Guardians of the Galaxy, and now episodes 4 through 6. And for us, it was a good fit for Gobo because they've got all of this sort of vehicle background. And so they were able to come at the playset with, focus on flight controls that everybody here used. We also used some of the lightsaber combat from Ninja Theory as well. But we were nervous. Episode 4 through 6 was sort of a large task for us. It was something that we sort of grew up in our childhood, and it was just like, oh man, we're going to have all eyes on this one. We wanted to make Lucas proud, and Lucas was great. They definitely gave us all of the feedback we needed, and all the details on all of the episodes. We did a good job with it. I mean, we have Endor in there, we have Hoth in there, we have Tatooine in there, and a lot of the Battle of Yavin. And so we're proud of the playset. I think everybody here who's going to play it should be proud of the playset. We think it's our best one so far. So we're super excited.
Now, there was some pretty cool technology that was actually integrated into the Rise Against the Empire playset. And in fact, it's so cool that that's part of the reason why guys from Gobo aren't here right now, because they're actually giving a lecture at SIGGRAPH, which is a huge convention that's going on. And they were, them as well as Disney Research, collaborated to work on that together. And I think they've been nominated as one of the best. What was the thing?
Well, it's the real time. So the SIGGRAPH is it's the high-end rendering and graphics kind of convention, and so very high-tech math stuff.
It's happening right now.
It's happening right now, and so they were selected as one of the finalists for the real-time category, and real-time being anything where you're drawing polygons really fast, but this is more how you animate all that stuff, and instead of normal animation, we do it, kind of like if you think about an animation would be like almost like an action figure. You kind of move the poses one after another, and you'd put like 5 poses together, show those in order, and then that would make it, that's how we would normally animate something. The way that these guys did it this time around, they actually calculate the balance of the AT-AT and then put the legs where it needs to go. So you can put it on any surface, you can put it anywhere, and then you combine that with some of these walk cycles. It's really high-tech stuff, but what it ends up meaning is you can get like kind of endless variations of AT-ATs when they fight each other, and so it's a really cool system.
Yeah, we there's a team of Disney really smart dudes in Disney Zurich research program, and Gobo sort of partners up with them, and so they help develop the AT-AT physics-driven animation. But it's cool because you can take down the AT-ATs in different ways, so it's not like you're playing the same animation over and over again. Since it's physics-driven, if you hit it in the side flying the snow speeder, it will react to that differently each time. And so there's like 5 or 6 different ways that you can take the AT-ATs down, and it's really cool. So
and the way that they fall each time is different.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to talk a little bit. I think a fun story is when you guys finally got that system active and working in the game, the reaction from kids as we were doing play tests?
Yeah, I mean, there was just tons and tons of laughter. And so, I mean, you can just make them do all types of crazy things. And so you can put objects in front of their feet, make them trip and fall. You can kind of break the front legs out and they'll fall down on their face. You can take their back legs out and they'll fall on their butt. You can actually take the ATs over too, and you can control them by remote control. So we brought a lot of the toyness that Infinity delivers into sort of combating with the AT-ATs. So you can actually take remote control off of the AT-AT, throw it down on the ground, and then sort of control it in third person. So that's really cool. It's very unique, and I think it's something only that Infinity could deliver. So that was
Yeah,
pretty cool.
so like out of all of the different locations in Rise Against the Empire, which one are you most proud of? And if you say the one that you worked on, I'm going to make fun of you.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say Endor. I actually,
That was the one that
but-
Mike specifically worked on the artistic direction for.
You know, I don't know if there's just one standout. I think, you know, we had to be sensitive to each area. So, I mean, the ones that stand out to me are Tatooine, Hoth, and Endor, and probably the Battle of Yavin. I mean, that's a lot, right?
Yeah,
But
it's the whole game, man.
Yeah.
it's
Pretty much
well,
the whole
yeah.
play set.
Minus a couple of the Death Stars. But I don't know. I'm proud of all of it. The team worked their butts off. I think it's a large play set, just like the other ones, and it's a ton of fun. So I don't really have one area that I think is the call out, other than I think the play set's great.
So one thing I think is fun, and a fun story to share with everyone, is like, especially between you two, the back and forth arguments that happen at Avalanche about who's got the cooler play set,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And like, Mike's smiling because he feels like he always wins the argument. But I don't know if that's necessarily true. Whose play set is cooler?
I wouldn't pick one over the other because they're so different. I mean, I think that's what this is going to.
Speedway's cooler than both the places.
There you go.
No, they're different, right? We offer a different gameplay than what these guys do, but they're both high quality. And that's what I like about it. They are different. We're a little more sort of toy box, kind of open world sort of gameplay. They've got a little bit more combat centric, and I think that's good. So I think they have standouts. And
Yeah, we do riff off each other all the time though, because we're watching them play their stuff, and it's like, oh look, they're doing that. How are they doing that? Let's figure out how we can do that better. And then it goes back and forth, and we end up sharing different parts, system wise, but then coming up with our own content. And I think it makes both playsets better ultimately. So
Yeah, totally agree. You have any questions for the panel, John?
Just want to talk about a little bit of the philosophical difference with the design on those two play sets.
Yeah, I guess I can talk a little bit about how we wanted to leverage the experience that we'd had from our previous games, obviously making it for a more family-friendly market. Obviously, there's a big difference between games like Enslaved and Devil May Cry. But,
Yeah, just slightly different.
in fact, I remember there was, when we were presenting some of our stuff to marketing and we were saying, who is Ninja Theory? And I remember us playing that Devil May Cry trailer with the industrial music, and it was loud and it was brash, and it kind of got to the end and there was like stunned silence from all of
Yeah,
the...
you guys can imagine we were in Hammersmith,
Yeah.
and we were introducing Ninja Theory and their development studio to the entire marketing staff in Europe. And it was like, and this is Ninja Theory. And we play it, and this video was like, "Whoa, whoa," like people's heads getting cut off, right? And like the lights came back on. All these Disney executives were like, like, don't worry, we're gonna get a Peggy 7. Don't worry.
But yeah, I think obviously combat, we wanted that to be at the core of the experience. We wanted to have things like the cool lightsaber fights with Grievous and Darth Maul, and that's the spine that lives throughout the playset. Is you might go to all these different places like Geonosis and Coruscant and Naboo, but through it, it's the introduction of new enemies and using your cool combos and learning how to master the combat and really be an awesomely cool Jedi, because that was what we really wanted to do, was to have that fan dream of becoming the ultimate Jedi when they're at the peak of their power.
It's funny too, for as hardcore games that you guys have done, is it fun? Tell us about what it's like working on a game that's intended for kids and family.
Well, there's two things that you have to do really. One is make it a viable experience for all ages. So you have to have the simplicity of the controls there for the younger audience, but it has to have depth there. So we added things